It has loaded myguamtax.com. However, and this is a telltale sign of just a site having so much traffic, it's trying to respond, but the site is loading. The graphics are kind of slow to load, meaning the servers have, like under, again, real heavy load. But again, if you go to, and I'll show you right here on the rightmost column, if you are able to get in, just hit refresh, keep trying, and it's down at the bottom, forms and applications, the all rise form. If you load that, it should load the PDF. And then what I suggest is if that PDF does load for you, hit Control S. That will save the PDF onto your computer, okay, if you're able to get in. So yeah, for the moment, if you are able to get in, congratulations to you, but just keep trying.
Congratulations, you have arrived. We did get another message here. Unfortunate with this system crash, because I know Director Daphne had highly encouraged online filing. Maybe a little too much, and that's what happened. Yeah, so Melissa commented, loads, but when you hit submit to complete and file, it gives you an error message. Ria Manglotnia, does she, meaning the governor, like watching the desperation? This should show her how much the people really need the help. Come file day, the system crashes, the line is excruciatingly long, and she gets to sit and probably laugh about how today turned out. To see our own Monumka with disabilities line up for this scam RISE Act, for shame, Governor. I'm sure you could have gave everyone a share of the federal money, but a hospital is more important for you at the moment. Okay. Rosemary, we should now turn away from revenue tax and demand the governor stop the application process her way. Clearly it's not working. Yeah, that's another thing. If this is first come, first serve, I mean, clearly with this applicant, with the system crashing, the whole thing is now in question. Let's go to the Zoom room where Speaker Therese Terlaje is standing by. Just Speaker, we'll just start with your initial reaction to the events that have unfolded this morning on the show.
Afade, good morning, everyone. And I don't know if I could say it any better than what Bree and you have said this morning. And it is really just, it's not acceptable. It's terrible. It's, we could have done so much better, and the people deserve so much better than this. And that's how I feel. It's terrible. And I agree. We should be seeing some action right now, some different action. And I think the website crashes are worse than what you've explained, because I've been getting messages that say not only, are they crashing, you can't get on, but when they get on, they're seeing their forms filled out with other people's information or different information, or messages like, you have already submitted, we have accepted your, or something like that. So yeah, I think it's a really huge problem. And I don't think I'm not sure. I think obviously they're going to have repercussions, beyond today, trying to fix this, I think. And that's just too bad. You guys have been calling it, from the start. We shouldn't have to see these lines to know the need that is out there. That need has been apparent for months and almost a year now. And it's just getting worse. And the more desperate we make people feel, I just feel like it's wrong. It's the wrong thing to do. And we tried to prevent this, and even just getting the Monumka to line up at the mayor's offices was already unconscionable. To get them to do this is just way beyond.
I think we're all struggling with our emotions this morning, and I haven't even really thought about COVID yet.
Yeah, well, Sabrina put it in a good perspective, I thought. She's talking about we've got over 200 people in one day, who are getting infected with COVID. We're trying to stop that. We're shutting schools down to stop that. And then we do this. It's not going to make any sense to anybody. It's just not. And, and we've got people on ventilators. We've got people dying. This makes no sense. It just doesn't. And really, it's a simple fix. It's like the cap. We could have removed the cap. We could have assured everyone that they would be covered. And why not? Why not cover everyone? That's the part that it's just unconscionable to me that we are selecting a few and leaving the others behind because they couldn't get on the internet fast enough. They couldn't line up for 12 hours at night in the middle of the night. I don't understand that at all, honestly. And I'm sorry, yeah, I'm kind of just raw here, but it's we are a government. We have excellent people in this government, and they could have done better if they were just allowed to do better. But they had their hands tied up with this insistence on $30 million as a cap when we are sitting on 600 million. That doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. And this whole, first come, first serve, it's never made sense. I've called them. We've tried to do bills. We've tried everything, and it's just it's not even necessary, honestly.
Totally.
Anyways, if there's anything that I hope that they take out of this, it's that this is a failure. It's a failure on all of our part, on government's part, and here we are. We've been working for years. We have people working for years in the government, competent people trying to make the government do better. And then we do something like this, and it just brings us back years, and we've got money available to us today that we have never had. And so there are no excuses. There are none.
The island's so divided.
Going forward, I've said this before, and I hope going forward, we will not have people having to beg for this money, for this assistance, for this aid, for food, for getting their children back in schools, for getting protection, that we will never have that. It's just not necessary. I'm angry. I mean, it's just, it's not like nobody could see it coming, right? You said it, you called it Hunger Games. I mean, and we know the need. This is the issue. It's like we have seen these lines. We see the lines when it comes to food lines up to now. We see the lines. We see the teachers have seen the kids in schools. They see what they need. These students won't sign up for computers because their parents don't want the liability of the $700 if the computers get lost. So these students are just going to be left out. I mean, we are in a dire situation, and we have to act, like that's what we're in, and that we are going to bring our best minds to the table, and that we are open to suggestions and ideas, and that we are going to make things better, and that we will never, ever rest on one, plan, and that we will continue to make it better. And that's why I want to see the ARP plan. I want that to be laid on the table. I want to know what their plan is for the money so that all of the people of Guam can help to make that plan better. They should never believe that they know more than anyone else on the island, and that this one plan is going to be the save all, because obviously they don't know everything, and they should be open. Today should show them that they should be open to more suggestion, and that we can all be open to suggestion and just continue to make things better. We have to humble ourselves and do that. That's, I don't care what, it's really, yeah. I'm so glad, Chris, that you did those interviews. Honestly, I'm so glad you did that, because seeing the lines was really saddening last night while we were voting on the override. And that was sad by itself, just to see the lines last night. But the interviews this morning, those are very compelling, and those are just one small sample of the people that are in these lines, or the people that are at home so anxious because they were not able to go line up, they don't have a ride or whatever, and they do not have access to a computer. And then, of course, those on the computer, and this computer situation, I don't know. So,
yeah. Imagine those people
I expect Daphne will find a solution to it, but obviously the timing is way off, so they have a big problem.
Do you believe the people of Guam deserve an apology from our governor for putting them through this? Our Manumco, our veterans.
You're going to have to ask the governor. Of course, I think I apologize to the people of Guam. Though I'm not responsible for that, I apologize because I am a government leader, and this is all of us. And we can do better. And absolutely, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
The apology accepted, Madam Speaker. But you're
Even
right.
though you don't have
I've
to
been
apologize,
Yeah.
'cause we have
from
seen this.
people
We've
who
seen the senators
cannot
introduce
apply
bills
because-
to try to get this rise payments paid out.
Yeah, it's perverse, this whole dance with the governor
Lift
first
the cap.
first saying that, oh, I can't do anything because the law says the cap is 30 million, and so you guys jump through these hoops.
Belittled in an executive order when
Yeah.
she created her own All Rise program.
I just
When
don't
is
get
enough enough?
it. I mean, you couldn't even plan this all rise, and you want to plan this 600 million? Get real.
Right.
Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no more. You better they need to put that plan on the table and really open it up for suggestion and be open to the best ideas, because I don't have the best ideas, but there are other ideas out there that always help us to make things better. And, you know, I've been getting calls this past few days, people, manamko, these are manamko, and I feel really bad for them because they weren't required to file 1040s. And so they're not eligible for this rise at all, this all rise. And so I hope that with our override last night that, you know, she just incorporates them as well, that they incorporate the people who were excluded because they were not required to file 1040s because they don't have active income. They have retirement, you know, annuities, and that they, of course, it doesn't have to be first come, first serve. We've had this money since May. It's not logical.
It's
right? She
bananas.
sit on money since May, and then all of a sudden there's a rush to spend it. You gotta sign up in one day. That makes no sense. And that you've got 600 million, and you have to cap it at 30 million. And when we are saying from the start, we recognize these people are the people who need it, and we recognize that we are in the middle of a pandemic and with unusual needs, unprecedented, you know, impacts, layoffs, family impacts, everything. So we can do this, and we can do this better. And I am willing to work harder to communicate and do everything I can, because I continue to try to do that. And I just think we need to do that. We don't need to be, anyways, you know better. I mean, that's what we got to do. Everybody knows that. Yeah. And so we're going to do that. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to ask again, I'd like to see the plan for the ARP. I think we need to reprioritize. I think the longer you hold money out, the more desperate the situation becomes, because we're not aiding these people, we're not aiding these businesses, and they are becoming more desperate.
Yeah.
And I heard one of the callers or one of the comments this morning about crime. That's what I've been thinking about. It's like the more desperate you make people, they turn to other things, you know, and why would we want that? I don't want that. And I don't want that at all for our school kids. I want them back in schools. I want all that money used for their protection to be used for their protection. And, you know, change the capacity at the school, you know, divide them up, do whatever you've got to do to make it work, and make it work safely, and do what we're supposed to be doing, and that is using this money to make people safer, using this money to help people overcome the huge burden that has been placed on them through this pandemic. Yeah, I know we had all other things to talk about this morning, but I'm so glad you did those interviews.
Yeah, there was a budget or something that got passed, right?
Yeah.
In other news.
And I know, you know, the budget is all about the government of Guam, right? It's about the government of Guam employees, it's about the government of Guam agencies, and it's about what the government is going to do. And it's a small part of what Guam needs to do and what we have to do for Guam. And so it's, you know, there's some good things in this budget. It's not perfect, but there are some good things in this budget that are going to help get services out for the people that need it. I tried to put a provision in there that's going to help get refunds out faster, I hope, because part of the budget, you know, decreased the refund provision a little bit. And so I just think refunds are one of these types of, it's money that belongs to people that we should not hold for a day longer than we need to, especially in a time like this. And so that's one of the things that we can prioritize and make sure they get that money that belongs to them faster, and we catch up. This is our year to do that. And and that's what that money is for. So I want that to be prioritized too. I don't want people waiting. You know, they waited for minimum wage to be changed. They waited for the RISE Act since December. They waited for, they wait for the refunds. They just keep, we are waiting for the ARP plan to see if there's any hope for anything else.
Wait
right?
in line to get tested.
We shouldn't have to keep waiting. So
I just want to read this from the executive order.
Uh-huh.
I keep going back to this because I'm kind of pissed.
Yeah.
The executive order, when the governor rescinded her original all rise and then replaced it with her new all rise, the Guam legislature is proven ill-equipped to pass a law that creates and allows the executive branch to implement a program that gives our people direct aid and also complies with federal mandates regarding the use of ARP. I don't know.
Sounds like
the letters are many of the letters are like that. Yeah. The veto letter is criticizing the leadership, because we tried to pass a RISE amendment, right? That executive order. I find that unnecessary and frankly unprofessional. I don't think it's necessary at this point. If we're trying to help the people, let's just focus on them and let's just get it done.
Yeah, I mean, but when you have a communications director for the office of the governor who can just, do a character assassination on a senator in a press release, it kind of seems like this is just par for the course. And you're right, it's totally unnecessary, but it really, to me, it's just in line with exactly what happened this morning. The bottom line, the governor, I don't know how someone can be this out of touch with what is going on in our community. I don't know how.
It does seem out of touch. And the other thing is I'm hoping, that they're not, it seems to be consistent attempt that we're going to change the standard of government here, that we are going to not be transparent, first of all, not seek suggestions, second of all, not try to make things better and really just instead of working together, criticize. And I don't want to do that. I mean, I'm angry today, so I'm critical, yes, but I'm still willing to work together, and I have always been. And I work hard. I will work hard. I will do whatever it takes because I just think this is something that these people do not deserve. No one deserves that, especially the people of Guam. My goodness, they've been patient. They have been compliant, with all the executive orders. They have been doing what they need to do. They've been trying to keep themselves safe, and they've been, dealing with the layoffs and the openings and the closings, and they've been dealing with it. And so I am so grateful to them. And so we're just going to have to step it up as a government and all the leadership.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We do have a question, and this is aside from the fiasco with the all-race application, and this relates to the minimum wage because that does kick into effect today. This is, September 1st. So there's a question here from one of our online viewers. There was an amendment by Senator Moylan to delay the minimum wage increase. As you know, it failed. How does the legislature expect big, small businesses to survive?
I know that this is a hardship for businesses to change their wages. However, this is one thing, at least for me, what I said on the floor and what I say today is that we have $600 million in ARP money to help businesses as well. And that the governor has already promised programs through GIDA to help these businesses, particularly for employment purposes. And so I expect that she will do that. And I hope that she will especially do that for those who pay people, the minimum, the $9.25. So that I am hoping that she will be able to use money that way. And that, but I didn't want to put the minimum wage off because the people, we've put it off already once and they are expecting it. And this is, if they are lucky to get a job, they are going to be able to bring that home. And that's one more way to help these individuals and families. And the government has already promised to help the businesses. So I expect that she will. She's already put money or promised money to GIDA to do that, just exactly that. So I expect that will happen.
Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take
Okay,
care.
God bless. God bless Guam. Can
And
we?
just I want to just follow up on